If you're looking for the latest NFL news and rumors, you're in the right place. Harrison Graham, Mitchell Renz coming at you with the latest NFL news and rumors. And I'll tell you what, a lot of stuff to talk about. Let's kick off the show with Antonio Brown signing with the Seattle Seahawks.
Oh, baby. If you are a big Seahawks fan and you haven't subscribed to our Seahawks channel, Tom Downey has broken this down into deeper length. That video is either already up or it will be shortly. AB, this is pretty wild, right? Because no chatter, no one's going to sign him. Oh, 8-game suspension almost wrapping up. Looks like the Seahawks and other teams are in the mix for Antonio Brown.
So, I mean, if you guys, if we go back, right, I mean, there was the reports of potentially also, Seattle being interested in AB before. I mean, He was working out with Geno Smith, and we've seen Seattle kind of be interested in the wide receiver position. I mean, they also got this other guy. I'm waiting for them to bring out Josh Gordon as well. I mean, imagine a wide receiver room. Antonio Brown, Josh Gordon, DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett.
You're talking about the best quartet of receivers in NFL history.
I mean, plus, they're also 5-0. I mean, this is a team that's number 1 in our NFL power rankings. They're rolling through teams on offense. The defense is where they've been struggling. Maybe they can play AB at cornerback. I'm kidding. But you're talking about if they can get these 4 guys on the field, Russell Wilson's going to throw for 6,000 yards and 60 touchdowns.
And so you look at their next 5 games, Mitch. He could be eligible to play in that Bills game after the 8-game suspension.
A lot of FABs.
Remember when AB was a Bill for 10 minutes and then he wasn't because that trade never went through? RIP to those days. But you get him for the final stretch and you find a way to keep his head screwed on straight. This offense is going to be hard to stop because Antonio Brown, regardless of how we feel about him as a dude,
FAB.
He was on a Hall of Fame pace. There's just no denying it. For a good 4 or 5 years, he was arguably the best wide receiver in the NFL.
Yep.
If Russell Wilson gets him on board and gets him right, this is going to be a scary offense to watch in Seattle.
So should Seattle go out and sign Antonio Brown? Give me an AB for yes, or I want you to type FAB for no. If you're typing FAB, hey, we also got FAB shirts. Chatsports.com/FAB is a way to get it. All right, so do you think Seattle should go out and sign AB?
I will say I'm intrigued.
I
just want to see it happen. I wouldn't sign him if I was any team, but do I want to see it happen? You bet your ass I do. I want to see how entertaining this could become. I'm typing AB because I'm speaking it into existence.
A lot of FABs, though, there down in the chat. All right, Seahawks fans, we got a special deal for you and for all NFL fans. So I do want to give a special salute to service with some deals that we got going on right now. Gear up to 50% off. I mean, there's sweatshirts, there's hats. If you need an NFL jersey, we also got you covered. So if you guys haven't already seen the deals going on here with Salute to Service gear, we're trying to get it out there and hook you guys up. So chatsports.com/salute. Also gear up to 50% off hats, T-shirts, long-sleeve shirts. I mean, literally almost anything. The colors, they're pretty awesome there.
Yeah, we got this Raiders hat available as well. All this stuff for all 32 NFL teams. Salute to service. We appreciate all the fine troops who help us have freedom here in the United States. So
Absolutely.
If any troops are watching out there, we appreciate you. Chatsports.com/salute. And speaking of the Raiders, Mitch, get that hat, you Raider fans. Also, there's a lot of news to get into, and Mitch is going to cover it for the next few minutes.
Raider Nation, what is going on? This is NFL Daily. I'm Mitchell Renz, and we got a lot of stuff to talk about here. So Trent Brown, he's on the COVID-19 list, and when we started making this show, it wasn't really anything came out. It was more of, does he have it? Does he not? Well, I'm telling you right now, he is tested positive for COVID-19, and even though he's played in only 2 games this season, I know a lot of fans out there are very frustrated because you're paying this guy $21.5 million. And, there's an expression that car insurance costs an arm and a leg. I mean, you're paying that much money for a guy who's played in about 50% of the games. Now, Gruden came out and said that he is concerned about his health, and he should be, right? I mean, anytime you're talking about a team that's dealt with the amount of issues around COVID like the Raiders have, this is alarming. It's also very alarming because the Raiders have had to send home not just Brown, also the 4 starting offensive linemen because obviously they've been in contact with him, whether it's in meetings or practice. So Colton Miller, Denzel Good, Rodney Hudson, Gabe Jackson, Trent Brown, all sent home today from Raiders practice. Trent Brown, again, is the only player that has tested positive, but the fact that this team is worried about them like Miller, Good, Hudson, and Gabe Jackson being in contact with Brown, that's definitely something to think about, right? So with Trent Brown likely going to miss Sunday's football game, that means Sam Young, if he is healthy, is going to likely start in his place. When healthy this season, Sam has actually done a very good job. I would actually make the argument, when he's played and he's been healthy, he's been better than Trent Brown. I'm not saying that he is better than Trent Brown, not even close, but this season, he's played very well. So I want you guys to be honest here. What is your reaction to the Trent Brown news? I know there was a lot of frustration. I went on Instagram. I went on Twitter. I mean, I'm looking around. People want to see Trent Brown on the football field. And I do too, because there's a reason why he's paid as much money as he is a very talented player. He brings that toughness. He is a great run blocker. And going up against, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, you're going to need your guys healthy. So let me know, what is your reaction to the Trent Brown news? All right, we're going to keep it going here. So Gruden, unfortunately, had to send 5 offensive linemen home, Trent Brown being one of those guys. And originally, we're going to go back to Week 2 Monday Night Football, the Raiders get in trouble for not having a face mask, right? Jon Gruden, this team, the Darren Waller Foundation as well. I mean, there's just so many things going on here with this team. So now, the real question here is Sunday Night Football going to be in jeopardy? I mean, if you guys watch the Raiders report, I'd probably give it 3 Chucky heads because, yeah, I do think that it's in jeopardy. Here's a quote from Gruden. "We had to send 5 starting linemen home because they were around Trent. Hopefully, we'll get some players back tomorrow for Sunday." I know every Raider fan out there, and honestly, every single NFL football fan out there should hope that nothing crazy happens out of this news because we don't want to see games get pushed back. We don't want to see games get postponed. I want to see more football, and I want to see Sunday Night Football. However, if an entire starting offensive line for a football team is unable to play, I'll tell you what right now, the NFL would not be doing their job. They wouldn't be going through with all the protocols, and they wouldn't be following what just happened with the Tennessee Titans if they weren't taking this very, very seriously, and it is a very serious issue, right? So with Brown, he was dealing with a whole bunch of different injuries earlier on in the season, and now finally comes back Week 5 against the Kansas City Chiefs. The Raiders get a huge 40-32 win over, I think, a lot of the team that a lot of people would consider probably the best team in the National Football League. And then you go into a bye week, you rest up, you're getting ready to rock and roll, and then all of a sudden you're hit with, again, more news here. And I mean, it's almost like the Raiders can't catch a break whatsoever. So Brown, he's probably not going to be able to play Sunday. I mean, sure, I've seen a lot of people like, Mitch, if Nick Saban coached that college football game on Saturday, why can't Trent Brown play? He's just got to pass some tests. We'll see what's going on here. But I do also want to make some notes here, some players on the Raiders practice squad offensive linemen, because in the event that the game does happen, and in the event that the Raiders don't have their entire starting offensive line, you're going to have to keep in mind a guy like Jaden Jones-Smith. He's probably going to get called up. Jared Jones-Smith. Also a guy like Richie Incognito, who has been on the IR. He's been dealing with an Achilles injury. I would expect him to be able to come back as well. Also Eric Magnuson. Magnuson's been a guy, I believe the last 5 weeks the Raiders have protected on the squad. There is no doubt that the offensive line for the Raiders has a big task on hand. I mean, you want to talk about one of the best defenses in the National Football League right now? It's the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They've been able to get after quarterbacks. They've been able to force pressure. And I know Derek wants to be able to throw it deep to his playmakers like Henry Ruggs, like Darren Waller. I mean, Bruce Arians came out and said today that the Raiders have one of the best triplets right now in the National Football League with Josh Jacobs, with Henry Ruggs, and Waller. But it doesn't matter if you don't got an offensive line, and right now, not having any starting your offensive line, yeah, it would be a really, really rough start. So Sunday Night Football, Buccaneers at the Raiders. If y'all want to get your score predictions down below, hey, go for it. Because coming into this game, Tampa just won a really big one against the Green Bay Packers, 38-10. The Raiders coming off a huge win up against the Kansas City Chiefs, 40-32. Every person watching right now, let me know what the score prediction is going to be for Sunday Night Football. Another player that was sent home today, and I mean, you just can't catch a break. Johnathan Abram. So you got Trent Brown, your other 4 starting offensive linemen, and Johnathan Abram sent home because, again, another player that was in contact with somebody on the COVID list. When you look at a player who's been able to bring a lot of toughness, a lot of physicality, and I would say this Raider mindset, it's Abram. Now, don't get me wrong. He's he needs to sometimes take a little bit of a chill pill because he's going out there like a missile all the time. And I know Cleveland Furl's Twitter handle is Clee Missile. Maybe Johnathan Abram should change his name to Johnathan Missile. But my man is flying all over the football field, and if he is unable to play, I mean, the Raiders already have a bottom defense allowing 30.2 points per game. So, yeah, you don't have Abram, it's going to be a huge loss. Now, what I want you guys to do right now is go ahead and click that big red button that says subscribe. So if you're watching this on NFL Daily Chat Sports, subscribe to us here. But if you're a Raider fan and you're like, wait, you guys have a Raiders-only channel? Yes, we do. Get close to 58,000 subs right now. It's at the link that you see below, youtube.com/Raiders Report. We go live every Tuesday over there. We also go live every single Monday and Wednesday on our NFL show. I know a lot of Raider fans like, wait, Mitch, why don't you have your Raider stuff on? Guys, we do NFL videos. I work at Chat Sports. That's just so y'all know. Come join us for our live shows Monday, Wednesday, 6 p.m. Eastern Time, 3 p.m. Pacific. So the question that needs to still be asked here, is Sunday Night Football going to get canceled? Originally, when I saw the report come out about Trent, I was like, no big deal. I mean, sure, COVID sucks, but, we're going to continue to move. And then the 5 offensive linemen, and now Johnathan Abram, and then you look at a lot of the other games that had got postponed. This is Sunday Night Football, and you're talking about a game that's going to sell easily. Jon Gruden up against his old team. Tom Brady, the Tuck Rule, going up against the Raiders on Sunday Night Football. When fans were actually able to go, this was one of the games that was the most expensive because people want to be able to watch it. And the NFL, well, if you don't have a lot of players, I can't imagine it happening. So here's some games that have been postponed due to COVID. Titans versus Steelers, Broncos versus the Pats, and could the Raiders versus the Buccaneers be next? My fingers are crossed that it's not. I'm hoping that a lot of these guys like Gabe Jackson, Rodney Hudson, Colton Miller, they're able to end up going Denzel Good and maybe only having Trent Brown out, and Johnathan Abram's also ready to rock and roll. So let me know here. Will the Raiders versus Bucs get canceled? Give me a Y for yes, or I want you to type that N for no. I'm going to start giving some shout-outs here on our live show. If you missed the live show, maybe it's because you're not subscribed over here to Chat Sports, over 202,000 subs. So Y for yes, N for no. Will Raiders versus Bucs end up getting canceled? Seeing a lot of no's starting to flow in here. Y for yes, N for no. Raiders versus Bucs. Will it get canceled? Harrison Graham is back here. Let's talk about Michael Thomas potentially playing in Week 7. Has not played since Week 1 with that ankle injury.
Yeah, he's had the ankle problem, and then he got into an altercation with the teammate, and Sean Payton was like, we're not going to let that fly. So maybe he will finally play after missing the last several weeks. And certainly this Saints offense could use it because they have lacked big plays down the field.
Absolutely.
They've moved the ball, but those big plays have not been there without Michael Thomas.
And, I mean, they've really been relying on a guy like Alvin Kamara. I'll also say that Drew Brees, for the first time in his career, in my opinion, has been kind of exposed because he's not throwing the football down the field. You have these underneath routes, which are great, but Michael Thomas has really been able to hide the fact that Brees has lost a lot of that arm talent.
Totally.
And plus, this division, it's close. I mean, you got the Bucs at 4-2. The Saints, I picked them to win it. I think you picked the Saints to win this division as well. And you're going up against the Carolina Panthers, who are at 3-3, playing pretty solid football.
They're competitive.
I mean, it's going to be a game where you need to end up seeing Michael Thomas on the football field. And, I mean, if they win, you're right there with the Bucs. If you lose, I mean, it's tough, man.
The good news is you got that win over the Bucs in Week 1, so they've got the tiebreaker. It's early on in the season. I think the Saints have played a little bit better the past couple of weeks. Now you get Thomas back into the fold, hopefully. This is a team that at times starts kind of slow, and then they get red hot for the rest of the regular season, so maybe they are ready to take off here.
So who do you think is going to end up winning the NFC South? Is it going to be the Atlanta Falcons? No, it's not. I'm sorry. This is going to be the New Orleans Saints type NO. The Carolina Panthers, give me a CAR. Or is it going to be the Tampa Bay Buccaneers type TB? Harrison, before I give my answer, who's going to win the NFC South?
I'm going to stick with the Saints here, but it will be a two-team race till the end. I think those two teams will pull away from Carolina, but I'm going to go with the Saints, so I'm going to type
Seeing a lot of TBs. I'm also going to agree with you. I'm going to stick with the Saints as well.